Alabama blows out Texas Tech 90-65 as Alabama is rolling through the Midwest bracket, beating both of its two opponents by 20 points or more. This game against Texas Tech was really fun to watch as Alabama played great and they laid it on Texas Tech. Alabama is now in the Sweet 16, and how sweet it is. Welcome to another episode of the Bamateur Hour podcast. I'm Bama John. Today is Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, in the year of our Lord. Thank you for tuning in. We now have over 8,800 subscribers to the YouTube channel, headed to 10,000 and beyond. And here we go. March Madness is in full swing. Alabama's now won its first two games in the tournament. Alabama rolls over Texas Tech 90-65, winning by 25 points. They've advanced to the Sweet 16. Next up, they play the Michigan Wolverines on Friday in the Sweet 16. Alabama dominated Texas Tech in a performance similar to the beatdown that Alabama laid on BYU a year ago in the Sweet 16 last year. Alabama played great, and they blew out Texas Tech. In the first half, Alabama jumped out to an early lead and then proceeded to roll through the first half, taking a 24-point lead and up 49-25 as they went into the locker room at half. Alabama jumped up early on Texas Tech, and they were up 30-14 with 7 minutes left in the first half, and they truly cruised to the win after that. It was a nearly flawless performance by Alabama as Alabama dominated Texas Tech in most every aspect of the game. In the second round of the NCAA tournament, Alabama surged to that commanding halftime lead. Alabama broke a tie at 7-7 as they went on a 13-2 scoring run, fueled by Labaron Philon's playmaking and by Latrell Wrightsell's shooting from three, and Alabama's physicality as well, and their defense and just their hustle on both ends of the courts showed up as they outmuscled Texas Tech on the glass with a 24-8 rebounding advantage, including 12 offensive boards in the first 12 minutes alone. Texas Tech really struggled to find the rhythm as they were shooting 1 from 8 from 3, and Alabama had a balanced attack as 4 different players scored 8 or more points in that first half, and Alabama really rolled. A couple of things I would say is that Alabama played 9 players in the first half, and they got contributions from all 9 of those players in the first half. And we really are not missing Holloway. Alabama without Holloway is a longer, taller team. They're a better defensive and rebounding team, and it showed. And it's also nice that Taylor Ball Bowen is back and healthy and contributing on both ends of the court, as he has length and athleticism on both ends of the court. And Alabama throughout the game, and particularly in the first half, got almost every 50-50 ball, as our hustle, our energy, our effort really carried over from the second half in that win against Hofstra, and Alabama just looked great. In the first half, Alabama shot 44% from the field to Texas Tech only shooting 32% from the field. Alabama made 17 baskets to just 10 for Tech. Alabama shot 41% from 3 to just 15% by Texas Tech. And Alabama made 11 threes to just 2 for Texas Tech. And it was really Alabama's defense. We really hustled. Our length, our athleticism, our effort. We really harassed Tech and forced them into a bad shooting percentage in the first half. Also rebounding. We had 30 rebounds to 16 for Texas Tech, as we had a 12 rebounding margin differential. Or rather, that was 14, and we had 12 offensive rebounds in the first half. It was really a dominant performance in the first half as Alabama led by 24 at half. In terms of the first half stats, Sherrill had 10, Wrightsell had 9, Mallette had 9, Philon had 7, and Noah Williamson was a pleasant surprise in this game as he hit a 3-point shot. He made a 2-point basket off a nice rebound and putback, and he had 5 points. And then in the second half, Alabama came out and they maintained that effort and Alabama cruised to a 25-point win, winning 90-65. In the second half, Alabama maintains its focus, its effort, and its dominance, despite a brief push by Texas Tech as they managed to cut the lead down to under 20 points right before the 11:50 mark, as they cut the lead to 63-45. But then Alabama turned around after they cut it down to 18, and they went on a 14-4 run, extended the lead to 77-49 at the under 8 timeout, and then Alabama just cruised from there. Latrell Wrightsell led the team with 24 points. Labaron Philon had 15 assists, 9 points and 6 rebounds, and Alabama's perimeter shooting was incredible as they hit 19 three-pointers compared to just 4 for Texas Tech. Houston Mallette had a great effort with 8 rebounds. He had 15 points. And the victory allows Alabama to move to the Sweet 16 as they'll have a matchup against Michigan in Chicago. So star of the game was Latrell Wrightsell. He had 24 points, going 7 for 10 from 3. He had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and only 1 turnover. Other notable players who had big games: Houston Mallette had 15 points, going 5 for 8 from 3. He also had 8 rebounds and 1 assist. Amari Allen had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks, as he had his usual stat-stuffing effort. And Mallette, Allen, the whole team played great defense in the blowout win. Aiden Sherrill had 10 points, and then was just a presence in the middle. Labaron Philon had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 12 assists. He did have 4 turnovers. And he didn't have a great shooting night, but Labaron Philon was out there. And the great thing was he didn't have a spectacular game, and we still won by 25. So it just shows how much this team has come together, what a great team effort we had in this game, that Philon only had 9 points. And if you'd told me that Philon was only going to have 9 points against Texas Tech, I would have told you we lost the game. But it just showed you what a team effort it was, how many different players contributed to the cause, and how well the team played, and how well the team has come together with the loss of Aiden Holloway. London Jemison had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And he did have 2 turnovers, but a good performance, played good defense, really hustled, had good effort out there. And then Taylor Ball Bowen had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, as you could feel his presence out there as well. And then Noah Williamson, and I'm really happy with the performance we had from Noah Williamson. He had 8 points, including making 2 threes. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. He did have 2 turnovers, but it was really nice to see him out there contributing and being a factor in the game. And one thing I want to note is it was really a team effort. And something that was noted recently is that Houston Mallette has led a team Bible study for this team. And a lot of the players have joined in, and they've really developed a great team chemistry and a great team bond through their Bible study and coming together as a team. So I think that closeness on the team and that focus allowed them to overcome the trial of losing Aiden Holloway through that close-knit bonds that they formed through the Bible study on the team. And so very noticeable as to how well we've played these last 2 games without Aiden Holloway. And he may have been a distraction at some points in this season, because the team is really gelling, really playing well despite losing him. And he was the second leading scorer on the team. So it's amazing that we scored 90 points in both games and played well at both ends of the court, and yet we're missing him. So seem to actually be playing better without him than with him. Certainly it helps that we've got a little more healthy, but just great to note. So highlights of the game: Latrell Wrightsell led the way in this game. He had a great effort as Alabama put up 90 points, and he had 24 points and shot the ball really well from the field. Other highlights of the game was that we held Texas Tech to 65 points. Our rebounding, our defense All of those things really kept Texas Tech in check and allowed us to cruise. So I love the intensity. I love the effort. This Alabama team came out, they played focused, they played intense the whole way, and we really showed how good of a team we can be. And it was just a dominant performance as Alabama came out. They locked in from the start. They dominated Texas Tech, and they never let up and got the 25-point win. So just super, super impressive. And as I've said previously, without Holloway, Alabama is longer, taller, plays better defense, and rebounds the ball better. And then on offense, without Holloway, the ball movement was crisp. No one was a ball stopper looking to play ISO ball. And it was a really impressive all-around performance as Alabama passed the ball, moved the ball, worked the ball to get good shots on offense. And then we were finding the open man from three. We were nailing the three-point shots as we shot almost 50% from three, made huge shots, scored the ball from all levels. And it was just a great win. And the way this team has played the last two games gives me hope that Alabama can beat Michigan. It's not going to be an easy game, but Alabama has looked great the last two games, winning by 20 over Hofstra and 25 over Texas Tech. And if we can play like we did in these two games, play aggressive defense, hit the boards hard, gang rebound with 5, work the ball, get open shots, we can play with Michigan and we can potentially beat them. But again, it's not going to be easy. All right, let's look at the stats. Alabama made 30 field goals to 21 for Texas Tech. Alabama shot 44% from the field to just 34% from Tech. Again, our defense harassed Tech, made it hard for them. They had a hard time finding good open shots and had a hard time scoring the ball. And just a great defensive effort. Alabama made 19 threes to just 4 for Texas Tech. Alabama shot 45% from 3 to just 16% from Tech. And again, our defense was great. Our offensive ball movement was great. And that really explains why we're able to shoot the ball so well, and also why Texas Tech shot only 16%. And they're a really good three-point shooting team. They were not getting easy open looks as our defense was really good. Alabama played great defense, held Tech to just 65 points, forced Tech into poor shooting night as Tech shot just 34% from the field and 16% from 3. Alabama had 47 rebounds to just 35 for Tech as we out-rebounded them by 12 rebounds. Again, great effort by Alabama going for the 50-50 balls and really just working it. Alabama did have 13 turnovers to just 10 for Tech. Got a little sloppy. But again, we didn't have 15, 20 turnovers, just a 3 turnover margin, but how well we dominated everything else. The turnovers didn't kill us. Alabama's largest lead was 34 points. Alabama trailed by 2 early in the first half, but that was the largest deficit we had in the game. And then we jumped on and pulled ahead of Texas Tech and then stretched it out and had a 24-point lead at halftime, won by 25, and had as large as a 34-point lead in the game. So Alabama's played great in the first 2 rounds. We've blown out both teams. So we're really on a roll. Next up is top-ranked and number 1 seed Michigan. It's going to be a tough ask. They're a really good team. They have a great front court. They have good guards. They're a well-rounded team. But Alabama can win. If we can play like this with the intensity, the focus, the offensive execution, the defensive intensity, if we can gang rebound, then maybe we can pull this upset off and beat Michigan. It's going to be tough. So next up is Michigan on Friday in Chicago in the Sweet 16. So let's celebrate. Let's enjoy these wins. And then Alabama, you guys get ready because you got a tall order against the tall Michigan team. They're a very good team, but they're not invincible. They've lost games this year. Purdue beat them recently, and we hung in there with Purdue. So if Purdue can beat them, we can certainly beat them. All right, that's it for now. We'll be watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, follow, like, hit the notify bell wherever you access the podcast, wherever you stream us. God bless, roll tide, and what a great win over Texas Tech as Alabama is into the Sweet 16 again, as Nate Oates has done a great job with this team, and let's just celebrate it.